Hello and welcome to the Storytelling for the Soul podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Kanata, and this is the place we talk about all things expressive writing and other creative techniques, all with a little bit of Buffy the Vampire Slayer thrown in. Buckle up and enjoy. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Storytelling for the Soul podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Kanata, and today we are talking about everything happening for a reason. Even those things in life that we certainly don't desire and that we find incredibly challenging. Now, the motivation for this episode is a personal experience that I've been living through for the last couple of weeks, and I'm going to be honest with you, it's been incredibly unpleasant. So a couple of weeks ago, I woke up one morning with an incredible burning sensation in my bicep. And I've never felt anything like this before. I do strength training, so I'm very familiar with what DOMS, so delayed onset muscle soreness, feels like. This was certainly not that. It was just such a burning pain. I had been to the gym the day before, done an upper body session. Everything felt great, felt on top of the world, no problems whatsoever. I just happened to wake up the next day with this intense pain. So I gave it a couple of days, but by Wednesday, I still wasn't feeling right. Went off to the GP, was diagnosed with a muscle spasm. Very clearly by the next Monday, when things were not getting any better, it was not a muscle spasm. So had some physio, went back to the GP for some stronger meds, because I think the worst part of this experience, the first week was just intense pain. The initial meds that I were given didn't touch it whatsoever. And the worst part of it was that for some reason, sitting at my desk typing was the strongest pain that I felt. Now, as a writer, and this is in my writing arm, of course it is, this is obviously not convenient whatsoever. So from what I've been able to piece together from the physio and another visit to the GP, I've actually ended up pinching a nerve in my right arm, which is my writing arm. Thankfully, as I record this today, so it's now been not quite, but almost a couple of weeks. I'm recording this on Saturday, the 31st of August, but today is the first day I have felt any kind of relief whatsoever. The first time that I have felt human, if I'm honest with you, in the last couple of weeks. And I'm relieved, and I hope that things continue improving from here. Was able to do some light weights this morning. It's been a few hours since, and I'm still feeling okay. Don't get me wrong, it's not a miraculous recovery. I can still feel the tightness. According to the physio, everything is coming from the neck, even though I'm actually feeling the sensations in my shoulder, my arms. Every now and again, it goes down to my hand. So obviously not convenient whatsoever, especially for a writer. But the last couple of weeks, I've had all kinds of thoughts, including the thought that, well, what if this doesn't get better? I'm a writer. I work in communications for a living. I can't live this way forever. I do want to point out that every time that I thought that, which is of course catastrophizing, I did catch the thought and go to something better. And that something better was, okay, it's only been a couple of weeks. I went to Dr. Google and checked out pinched nerves and looked at the situation, and basically the situation varies wildly from person to person. So we could be talking about weeks, months, 3 to 6 months in the worst case scenario according to the physio, but that still gave me hope. This is not a permanent situation. But the other thing that I've realized in the last couple of weeks, and hence this comes back to the episode title, Everything Happens for a Reason. I've had some really stark realizations. I am, as I record this, 37, generally feeling pretty good. I mean, every now and again, I have aches and pains like everyone else. I get unwell like everyone else. But overall, I'd say my general health and well-being is pretty good. This situation has really made me see how I take my health for granted and how I don't want the latter part of my years to be. So I've put some things into action. I actually think that there's quite a few contributing factors. I think possibly I've overdone it in the gym, very much so, but probably I haven't done enough of the recovery side of things. So mobility sessions, foam rolling, massages, that kind of thing, yoga. I find all that stuff incredibly painful. And to be honest with you, it's not my favorite thing to do. But if I want to continue training, if I want to continue optimizing my health, I very clearly need to change my outlook on that situation. I've also, the other factor is that I do work a lot and I'm constantly using my arm. I am constantly sitting at a desk. And apparently my previous setup was not all that ergonomic. So I've changed a few things there. I'm hoping that will make a difference. I'm going to have to make time for things like massages, that kind of thing. Because without my health, there's no point in doing anything. There's no point in having my business. There's no point in enjoying my job. There's just no point, because I tell you what, over the last couple of weeks, I have never felt such pain in my life, to the point that at certain periods throughout the day, honestly, even walking on a treadmill has been painful. And it's just set off something in my arm. And so I haven't even really been able to do that without pain. So the last couple of weeks has been a massive eye-opener. So I'm going to stop talking about myself now and my personal experience. And I want to ask you how you can apply the everything happens for a reason rule to your life. And I know that when you're in the grip of it, so don't get me wrong, all of these, I guess, magic pieces of wisdom have come throughout this period of being in incredible pain. But mostly throughout this period, I have been cursing myself, wondering so many different things. So I haven't really had, what I'm trying to say is I haven't had these massive insights while I'm in the thick of it. So you may very well be in the thick of an intense situation that you don't really want in your life, and you're really struggling to see how this could possibly happen for a reason. And look, what I'm talking about is a really mild situation. There are some truly horrendous things that happen to people in life, and it's horrendous, and it's very hard to see how there could possibly be a reason for that. And I will say, in some cases, there's no reason for the most horrendous things happening in life. I want to draw on something that one of my mentors has been reiterating to me over and over again. And it's that not everything in life is your fault, but everything is your responsibility. So the way that I interpret that is bad things happen to people all the time. There's been some things in my life that I look back on. I wish I could take them back. I can't do that. It's just the reality of life. And I must say, if you live long enough, shit's gonna happen. I'm sorry if you've got kids. I should have prefaced that by, I'm going to swear. But let's face it, life can be messy. As you get older, things tend to become more complicated as well. So, when something undesirable happens to us, we have some choices. And let me say, I think that we should all entertain ourselves and spend some time wallowing. I think that that's perfectly healthy. And I can tell you what, over the last couple of weeks, I have been entertaining my own pity party. But at some point, we have to come out of that, and we have to take the best next step, the best next piece of meaningful action that is going to take us forward. And that's really what I want to emphasize in today's episode, is taking the learnings and the lessons from the most undesirable things that may be happening in your life and choosing the next best possible step. Because really that's all we can do. if you think about life, and especially when I think about the most important things in life to me, so of course, work is seriously important to me. I love what I do. I find meaning and purpose in what I do, but work is not everything. And of course, the more layers you have in your life, that will change. I mean, I'm in the position that as I record this, I'm single, I don't have any kids. I'm sure work would take more of a back seat if I did, because we all have the same number of hours and minutes in the day, and there's only so much of us that we have to go around. But as I record this, work is incredibly important, but it's not the most important thing, because actually my health and well-being is the most important thing, because without that, there's no point in my work, because I'm not going to be here for very long. So as I said, this experience has been very eye-opening. I wanted to jump on, record. I hope that you can take some takeaway out of something, anything that I've just said. If you would like to find out more about my work, which delves into expressive writing, embodied writing, other creative techniques. So it's not just standard journaling, I will tell you. It's all about writing while also feeling into the physical sensations in the body, so that we're not just having a very cerebral mental experience, but we're combining all of our experience as we write. If that is something you are interested in, feel free to head over to my website. I will pop this in the show notes, so don't worry about the spelling, sarahkanata.com. Or I would absolutely love to hear from you. So feel free to send through an email directly to me, info@sarahkanata.com. Again, I'll pop that in the show notes so that you don't have to worry about the spelling. And I will chat with you in the next episode.